At the top of this bulletin, this war, viewers, that began on 28th of February is continuing. The third week is something that we are witnessing right now. No let-up in attacks and on the if you talk about the impact, then it's oil prices that are on fire. Oil, specifically Brent crude price, in fact, has again surged past $102 per barrel. And this is very, very significant because despite some efforts that are being taken by the agencies to, help somehow reduce the price of oil, those efforts, it seems, have not really yielded any kind of positive result so far. Before we talk about those efforts, especially the efforts that the United States of America is taking right now, let's first take you through how the price situation is looking like right now. So just one day before, in fact, viewers, the war started, on 27th of February, the Brent crude price was around $72.97 per barrel. And as we speak, in this third week of the war, the Brent crude prices, in fact, have crossed $102 per barrel. Yesterday, they were flirting around $106 per barrel before closing around $100 odd per barrel. But now on 17th of March, Brent is way above $102 per barrel. So there has been a steep surge, in fact, in the crude oil prices that we are seeing. Why is it happening? Because of a drop in traffic movement, especially via the Strait of Hormuz. Now, if you see how the prices have really moved over the last few days, it's very important. So it was on 9th of March. That was the first time, in fact, Brent crossed, first time, in fact, when the Brent crossed $100 per barrel. It eventually closed at $114 odd per barrel. Then it fell down slightly, came to 89, then 86. And then from 12th of March onwards, again, it has stayed above $100 per barrel consistently. So 12th March, $100 per barrel, 13th March, $102 odd per barrel. Yesterday, it was around $106 per barrel as well before it's closed at $100.21 per barrel. And today, as we speak, it's still moving. It's between $102 to $103 per barrel. So this is the situation as far as the Brent crude prices are concerned right now. Now, Sharad Kohli, who is a market expert, is joining us on the broadcast as well. Good morning, Mr. Kohli. Appreciate you speaking with us here on Times Now. Even as India managed to get some relief with 3 of its vessels managing to get that safe passage via the Strait of Hormuz, what we are witnessing is that oil prices continue to be on fire. What do you make of it? Do you expect any kind of a drop once we see the oil reserves also entering into the market as decided by the International Energy Agency?
Good morning, Hena, to you and Times Now viewers. I think there are 2 aspects to this price. One, of course, is the supply disruption, and the other is the price. Well, we should not forget, so long as Strait of Hormuz remains disrupted, there is going to be pressure on the oil supply because 20% of the world oil supply moves through that strait. So I think this is causing a great amount of upset in the world financial markets. We are seeing that the stock markets around the world have been shaken primarily because of that. In fact, I would not hesitate in saying that more than the war, I think it is the economic disruption it's emanating out of the oil prices, which is causing havoc around the markets across the world. It's leading to increased cost of production for paints, chemicals, fertilizers, automobiles. There are so many sectors which are impacted, which is putting pressure on the market. I think we'll have to have the Strait of Hormuz opened by any means for these prices to ease. There seems to be no other way, Hina, as of now.
All right, Sharad Kohli, appreciate you speaking with us here on Times Now and sharing with us your perspective. So clearly, Strait of Hormuz is a cause of concern for the entire world right now. And efforts are being made by US President Donald Trump as well. In fact, he did reach out to the allies of the United States of America and, of course, some other countries as well, because he wanted their support so that ships can safely cross the Strait of Hormuz. But viewers, not many takers were there as far as his proposal is concerned. Before I tell you about the response of every country that Trump reached out to, or at least Trump spoke about, here's what Donald Trump has said.
And we're hammering their capacity to threaten commercial shipping in the Strait of Hormuz with more than 30 mine-laying ships destroyed. We hit, to the best of our knowledge, all of their mine-laying ships. Now they can put them on other types of ships, I guess, and drop them in. But we don't know that any have even been dropped in. We're not sure that any have been. That's a big negative for them if they do it. It's a form of suicide. But we don't know that they have dropped any in. But we've hit all 30 of their ships and destroyed them. They're all at the bottom of the sea. We strongly encourage other nations whose economies depend on the Strait far more than ours. You know, we get less than 1% of our oil from the Strait, and some countries get much more. Japan gets 95%, China gets 90%. Many of the Europeans get quite a bit. South Korea gets 35%. So we want them to come and help us with the Strait. We have it in very good shape.
So there you heard US President Donald Trump reaching out to countries to help Washington, but not many came forward. It was a very muted response that we got from the countries on Trump's proposal. And then US President Donald Trump also said we don't need anybody after he was snubbed by allies. So let's take you through what was the response of countries. And UK, of course, clearly said we will not be drawn into a wider war. From France, the response was that no warships are going to be deployed around the Strait of Hormuz. Germany has said war has got nothing to do with NATO, and hence, Germany can't really do anything. Japan has also said no to any kind of maritime security operations. As far as Australia is concerned, it's not planning to, in fact, send a ship. Then, as far as Greece is concerned, Greece has also decided to not engage in any kind of military operations. And lastly, if you talk about Italy, then the view is that diplomacy is the right way forward. So this is how, in fact, countries have responded. And listen into this reaction we got from Keir Starmer.
The Strait of Hormuz is then a separate discussion. And it is a discussion. We're not at a point of decisions yet, and I want to really stress that. It is obviously a difficult question. That goes without saying in relation to how you safeguard maritime traffic through the straits. Everybody knows the geography and the risks. But we are working and discussing that with the US, with Gulf partners and with the Europeans, and I discussed that yesterday with President Trump in the way we often discuss things. So that's where we're at on that. There are no decisions having been made. It'll have to be something which is agreed by as many partners as possible, is my strong view. And we're not at that stage yet, but we are working hard. I discussed it with President Trump yesterday in the way that you would expect between two allies. And two leaders, and as soon as there's more to report, I will make sure that you have that.
And we're getting some breaking inputs as well at this point in time. US intelligence says Iran's regime is consolidating power despite airstrikes. Officials see a weakened but a more hardline government in Tehran, backed by the powerful Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps security forces. In fact, despite more than 2 weeks of relentless airstrikes, U.S. intelligence assessment suggests Iran's regime is likely to stay as it is. It is going to be weakened for sure, but more hardline, with powerful Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps exerting greater control. This is the latest update we are getting for you. Rishabh, my colleague, is joining us on the broadcast for more on this. Okay, we'll go across to Rishabh in just a bit, but remember, all this has come after, according to US and Israel, there has been a significant degradation in Iran's missile capability as well as naval capability. They have also eliminated the supreme leader of Iran, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, and a lot of military as well as intelligence leaders have been eliminated as well. Let's go across to Rishabh, my colleague, joining us on the broadcast more on this. Rishabh, what more details can you share with us as far as what U.S. intelligence has now said?
U.S. intelligence now suggests that, there is a big claim on the Iranian regime from U.S. intel that we need to understand. Iran regime remains strong is something that the U.S. intelligence has predicted. Remember, while there are statements coming in from White House that how the Iranian regime has been crumbled and it's a matter of time that it will fall, the internal intel report suggests that the Iranian regime is strong. Why is this? The main thing is very clear that the US did not understand the nitty-gritties of Iranian regime. And this is something that we have been discussing, that how after Saddam Hussein's fall in 2003, it took at least, or just for that matter, 21 days for US invasion to throw off the Saddam regime and then put in a puppet regime. Iran since then has prepared itself for such things. And that's the reason that even after elimination of Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, Iran stands strong. Reason, IRGC has decentralized itself. And the administration has decentralized itself, and that's the reason that the regime still stands strong after 18 days of war.
All right. Thank you, Rishabh. Appreciate you joining us with all of those details. With this, we will slip into a very, very short break. Coming back with lots more. Don't go anywhere.